Be doing a deep dive on Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and sort of what's about to be unfolding, as it looks like they will be rolling out some sort of movement in the near future, which we are doing a deep dive today, and I will be giving you guys all the details on what's going on behind the scenes and how this rollout's going to go, what it's going to look like politically, individually, collectively. We are getting into it today, and it's going to be a very interesting video. So just before getting into the video, as you guys can see behind me, it is very smoky outside. There's like some wild smoke covering like the East Coast right now due to wildfires, which just go back a few months ago to my heart video when I came across how they were gonna start a bunch of fires. They have started those fires and it's pretty wild. It's like all over the country right now. So looks like that prediction's on target. And I did also say in my predictions video that there were gonna be fires come August, September, as we're entering August now. Some wildfires. So do you get it? Wildfires. Okay, whatever. So anyway, let's just get right into the video. So I'm going to be covering Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, larger contracts at play. Let's just get right into what is going on behind the scenes. So Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene were, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a very warrior-like figure in the government who obviously got, she resigned last year, and there are some large contracts at play with her, and not only her, which we're getting into, Thomas Massie as well. They were very aligned on obviously key issues like the Epstein files and obviously what's going on with the Israel stuff. So they are very much aligned. This is just a 3D explanation of them. Obviously, we're going to get into the behind the scenes stuff as I've remote viewed a lot of what is going on that is not yet presented publicly about these contracts at play. So obviously, they've been very aligned, and Thomas Massie will be leaving the government in January as he was taken out basically by Israel kicked him out of the government. So what they are doing right now is they are working strategically together to roll out a movement as we head into 2027. And this will be a third-party movement. So we're going to get into all the details today, how this is going to impact, obviously, not only the collective, but individually, politically, what's going to be going down, because a lot is going to be going down as we get closer to 2028, as this movement is a white hat back to movement, which I have been talking about for well over a year now, that going into 2027, there was going to be this unifying white hat emergence movement with key figures. Go back to my David Icke video, but without giving direct names, I already clued about this coming back in January, and it will be unfolding as we get into next year with Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, and some other well-known individuals. So let's just get right into, key details of what we should all be expecting, what's going to go down with the shadow government, and what will it look like if this movement ends up prevailing and come 2028, right? So it's going to be some wild times we're entering. So let's get into everything, and I'm just going to start with the first point, obviously, that I came across. Already knowing that these two figures have larger white hat back contracts, soul contracts behind them, which I've been over 6 months ago. I also did a remote view on Marjorie Taylor Greene almost about a year ago now, and I was giving some clues that she was going to be a part of some bigger movement. So it was all kind of beginning to unfold, especially as we get into 2027. So what is going on behind the scenes right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie are teaming up. Okay, so they are working together. They are teaming up. Obviously, it's pretty well known at this point that they are obviously working together to a length, but it's not well public about what is actually going on, how they're going to roll this out, what they are actually planning on doing. That's involving, I guess, more of that disruption, right? They are going to bring a lot of disruption, which we're getting into, but it's not yet well known on what exactly they're doing. Obviously, people have their speculations. It's not yet clear on, they haven't stated publicly yet on what their move is. So that's why I'm trying to get ahead of all this before they do, just to give you guys all the awareness on what is about to go down, especially through the end of 2028. So the first thing that I have picked up on, obviously kind of tapping into sort of not only like the white hat structure that will be behind them, but also sort of like, when are they planning on rolling out whatever third party candidacy for 2028? When are they planning on rolling this out? So I was able to see very clearly that they have nailed down that they will be rolling out whatever campaign or official party early of 2027. So it seems like it's going to be just after January, when Thomas Massie leaves his current term. That is going to be when it'll be like late winter, early spring. They will be announcing obviously this third party. And this third party will have Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie at the top of the party. And it will technically be like a presidential declaration. So they will be declaring to run for president. And this will be happening very early on in 2027. Once again, what got flagged out to me was late winter, early spring. So they are going to be running. And a few things that initially came forward is this will be a white hat backed movement. Okay, so the white hats basically are like a collective of beings and organizations that are working together to basically go against the shadow government. There are a lot of individuals who have contracts with the white hats, whether they are aware of it or not. They are enrooted in political systems. They are enrooted in corrupt organizations. They are rooted in basically, we are heading towards the time collectively where it's go time for these white hat soul, whoever has white hat soul contracts will be stepping in to basically lead some big missions, especially during this time as the shadow government is going down. So we're going to touch upon all these different factors, especially with what Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie are planning on doing. So yes, so basically they're going to be getting a lot of support from the white hats. So how it's going to go is they are going to run in the third party, and then you're going to have the Democratic side and the Republican side. Okay, so both of those sides are going to be funded by the Illuminati and the shadow government. They're going to be taking, obviously, funds from Israel, from all these corrupt institutions and organizations, right? They're doing the bidding for the Illuminati. Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene are going to be gaining their support through disruption. So they are really that, like, when we think of individuals coming in to burn shit to the ground, like, this is exactly what they're planning on doing. They are burning shit to the ground, and they will be planting seeds for something new to emerge. Very, very disruptive. So it's not going to be traditional political games with them. This is like a strategic move to push these individuals out by the white hats, okay? By the white hats, to basically crash the system from that political level and to help plant seeds for change. What this means collectively is this isn't like, okay, look at these individuals, they're coming to save us. No, right? There's no saviors in this reality we're living in. This is representing where are people at? Like, are people ready for this type of change with certain individuals coming in to burn the system to the ground, right? Which obviously Trump did not do, right? Which obviously pissed off a lot of people, but not surprising for those who obviously saw who was funding him and all that, right? He was doing Illuminati bidding all along, right? So is it like, it's basically like this is a representation of individuals who are coming in to basically burn shit to the ground. And it's going to be a big collective test if, for example, are people ready for that? Are people done with the status quo? Are people done with, and we did get a lot of that flaring up in 2024, but it's only going to exacerbate in 2028. And these are two individuals. Think about karma, right? Think about how karmic it was that the system canceled these two individuals, and how basically the karma is these two individuals are going to be running for president and gaining a shit ton of support, right? And we're going to get into the probability of them getting in, which very surprising information, I'm quite excited to see how this goes down. It's going to be very interesting. So anyway, once again, white hats backing them. These are like two individuals who were basically like canceled by the system when they first got, into government structures or whatever. So they will be pushing. So a big part of what they are going to be doing is, yes, there's also going to be other individuals involved in their movement. Obviously, I can name a few, but I'd rather just stick to what these two are currently working with. But there are other individuals that will be involved in this movement. And it does not seem like the energy of it feels very clean. When it does roll out, I do not get a theme of anything being compromised. Like it does feel very clean energetically. So that's just something to note. They will be pushing solutions based on personal sovereignty and then helping people move out of survival mode and dependence on outdated systems. Okay, so a big part of this movement that's about to emerge, technically political movement, but it's going to be so much deeper because it's going to be like, where are people at collectively? Like, are people done with the old? Like, are people ready for something new? Like, it's basically going to be something like, this is going to be something that is so new and very disruptive, uncomfortable levels of disruption, which we're going to get into some disruptive issues. So uncomfortable levels of disruption, a lot of people obviously getting triggered through how they might want to burn the system down, right? But this is to pave way for something greater. That has not been emerging these past 4 years with Trump, and obviously there's just a lot there, but basically this is strategic moves to burn down the system. Okay, so this is a big reason, like this is what they're kind of planning for. So I'm just kind of wanting to get ahead of this. And then I also saw like a big target population for Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie will be Gen Z and millennials and also Gen X. So they're not going to be targeting towards like the baby boomers who are watching CNN and Fox News every day brainwashed, right? They are going to be targeting, and I know I have some baby boomers who are awake who watch me, so I'm not talking to you guys, but I am talking to a lot of them. So they're not going to be focusing on the older generations, right? Because they are, they have been engaging in this matrix. They have been feeding this shit by watching the media every single day, right? They're eating it all up. They're eating the matrix up. They are going to be targeting Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z mostly, as these are the generations that are here to awaken. Yes, obviously a lot of agendas pushed against them to keep them suppressed, whether that's in debt or other agendas, but very much so targeting towards younger populations who have been really much screwed up by the current structure of the system, and basically see this system as something that is not helping people, right? So these are disruptive individuals that are going to be targeting themselves to the younger generations and they will be gaining the support with the younger generations. Like, this is exactly what a big strategic plan is. It's not going to be a Democrat or Republican getting the young people. It is going to be Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie based on what they are planning on rolling out. So I just wanted to mention that because sometimes, I don't know. I just felt like I just want to get ahead of this. I'm not trying to sound all political, but this is about to begin. And I want to give you guys the details and information on what's about to go down, as I've literally been talking about this white hat backed movement with few figures, but I didn't name the names that far in advance because I wanted to wait a long time. But this is about to start as we get into next year. And I want to give you guys all the details and information. Okay. They are also protected by the white hats, okay? They are protected by the white hats, and they will not be taken out. There are security agreements at play with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie. They are protected doing what they're doing. So Israel will not be able to kill them. The Illuminati will not be able to kill them. Whoever will not be able to get away with that, right? There's an agreement for these particular individuals to make it through and to not be compromised in the sense, and also to be protected. So if for whatever reason something did happen, once again, go back to the David Icke video, okay? It was wild. And that's when I started realizing, oh my goodness, this is going to happen. And I think throughout this whole year, we're kind of building up towards this about to begin. But here we go, right? It's like, there's talk about it almost beginning to emerge. They're giving clues. It's going to happen. So, yeah. Okay, so a big part of what they are going to be pushing for is not like American sovereignty. And Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie are the two that are going to burn shit down with Israel. And look at my thumbnail, right? They're going to be burning shit to the ground with Israel, U.S.-Israel relations. That being said, it's going to be messy. It is going to be very messy, but these are the two individuals who have it in them to do this, right? It's not going to be the Democratic side that's going to be funded by Israel running in the election, right? It's not going to be the Republican side who's funded by Israel running through the election, right? These are the two individuals who are going to be pushing for that, exposing the deep tie and actually ending it. So a big part of what will be their message is to fully break ties with Israel. And they're not going to be saying it. This is actually something that they would be doing. Fully breaking ties and exposing all of their corruption and leading mass investigations into all that they have been behind, okay? So they are going to be these individuals coming in to then expose this whole tie for what it was. No more funding, right? No more aid. Done. Like the collective sovereignty, individual sovereignty, national sovereignty almost, but only in a way, it's almost in a way that's like sacred, away from those toxic structures. It's almost gonna be like they're coming in and just burning shit to the ground, right? With all these systems that have not served humanity, and it's not just Americans, it's literally humanity. These ties at play, these structures at play, these relations at play have been enslaving us, right? And I think just how powerful it is that these two individuals planning to go in to basically break apart this alliance that's been going on for a very long time. That being said, there will be moves on behalf of Israel to fuck shit up, okay? And I'm going to get into some things that they're going to do. As they get in, and as these white hat figures, so it's not just Marjorie and Thomas, that cycle, they're also going to run in 2028. They'll try to run through some of the white hats to get into these other structures of the government. They're going to try and, they're going to be leaking stuff. Like, it's going to be, 2028, guys, is the year everything is going down. And this is what we're building up for. And it's interesting that this is just all happening so simultaneously with like what movement Marjorie and Thomas are going to be doing, but it's just a mere reflection on everything that's going to be coming out. There's going to be pushback on the side of Israel. So think about the US-Israel relation. Like, you're cutting off a drug addict. You are cutting off a drug addict from your supply, right? And like, they are fiending off of intertwining with America and doing all their agendas that is deeply connected with the Illuminati, the reptilians, the shadow government, 100% all intertwined. When they go in and cut these ties and expose the alliance, it is going to trigger a reptilian fight or flight response on the side of Israel, okay? And what they're going to do is, you know, they might start staging attacks. They might start, you know, doing anything that they have left, which they are already doing now. But don't get me wrong, when aid is cut and when they really go after and expose everything that they've been behind and all this corruption, if they end up getting in, what I see is attacks coming from Israel to keep doing anything that they have left to keep that chain and that intertwinedness going. It's going to be like almost like a war to break free from their influence. They are going to go all out. It's going to be like a reptilian fight or flight response on the side of Israel to do anything, like whether that's staging attacks, upping false flags, doing absolutely anything to keep this alliance going. And it's like Marjorie and Thomas, they are going to break it down. Like, that's literally their mission. They are going in and breaking it down, reclaiming. It's like a big theme of reclaiming national sovereignty, technically, because like, I guess America's not really a sovereign nation, and no nation's fully sovereign, but you know, obviously there's such an occupation in America from this nation, right? So it's like they're going to reclaim like literally national sovereignty, collective sovereignty, and a big push towards like going after institutions and going after all these corrupt organizations. And don't forget, it's not just Marjorie and Thomas. Yes, they're going to be like on the front lines of like what publicly is going on. There will be white hat acts going on behind the scenes, and there are going to be other individuals who maybe are not as well known stepping up in 2028. So it's like the way this is going to go down, it's going to go down in some way where it's this has not happened yet. There's not been a movement, obviously, since ever that is going to crash the system at this level. And how much support they're going to be gaining, how much, you know, like they're not going to be funded by the shadow government. They're not going to be, it's very much going to be like a grassroots operation, but it's going to be very much done by, like, it's going to be very much regular, ordinary individuals joining whatever cause that they are going to be fighting for. And it's almost going to be like some sort of liberation movement, or just some big, it's going to cause, like, when they roll out what they're going to roll out, it is going to be felt nationally, and it is going to be, people are going to know that whatever they're starting is going to prevail, because there's some sort of message and some sort of theme that will be enrooted in the way that they are going to be going about this, that's going to be very much empowering and give people hope. And I think that's what a lot of people need at this time. But also there's this theme of spiritually reclaiming power and sovereignty over the system. So it's more like however they go about their movement, it's going to be felt collectively and also individually. It's not going to be, this is not politics at this point. This is literally a revolution, like what they're going to be doing here. Like, this is not Kamala versus JD or whoever, you know, whatever they're choosing. It's not Matrix-like going about things. This is going to be something that is like it's going to be very deep, okay? And there's so many contracts behind the scenes that are going on, which I touched upon a few. Right, I touched upon what's going to happen on the back end after kind of all that intertwinement will be getting cut off. Okay, so a big thing too, is especially when they roll out whatever their campaign or their movement. I'm not even going to call it like a political campaign, because the energy of it doesn't really feel political. It feels very much like a warrior movement. Like it's not anything that has happened really in a very long time. Like this is going to feel the effects of like so many young people, like millennials. Like it's going to be very big. It's going to gain a lot of popularity, especially by then, like, this Charlie Kirk thing's going to be exposed. All this other stuff is going to keep getting exposed, and people are going to be awakening more and more to like what's actually been going on. And these individuals are also like awakening as well. So it's going to, and there isn't that sense of compromise. Like they're not compromised. They're not working for the shadow government. They're very much like energy pulled towards the white hats. So what I did see is like, especially going back on the shadow government / like Israel's end, is they are going to be doing their best to it's like they're going to be throwing all their eggs into one basket to ruin whatever movement Marjorie and Thomas are going to start. And I hate to say it, but like Israel and the shadow government, whatever influence they have left, which will be going, like as we get into 2028, 2029, like they're done. Like they are going down. All that influence, all those intertwinements are going to be coming to light. And there's a lot of stuff even going on the back end with the white hats that are trying to expose all these ties as well. But they're going to do anything they can to compromise, obviously, Marjorie and Thomas and spin their message. And they're going to really do anything to get their like Israel-backed candidates elected, because that's what they need to keep the system going. They have to get their Israeli-backed politicians in the government to keep funding the shadow government, right? And to keep doing, and when I say Israel and the shadow government, they're practically the same thing, because Israel is a core. It's not all of it. Obviously, there's like Hollywood, there's stuff around the world. It's not just USA. I mean, obviously, this is like the core of it we're talking about, or one of the cores of it, but it's global. So I just wanted to mention that. But they're going to do anything they can. It's like they're throwing all their eggs into one basket to keep. It's like they know they're running out of time. They know they're running out of support. And once again, it's going to be like a drug addict running out of drugs. There will be these. This is not fear-mongering. I'm just letting you know, especially as these individuals are getting pushed and bringing forward these new solutions and really, I guess, bringing forward that fire in the system that's going to unite. Like this isn't left and right. This is not either side. This is going to be something that people are going to see and be like, and feel, this is good. Like these are individuals who are actually doing like light work and that are coming in here to actually burn shit to the ground. And that's what we need. We don't need people who are coming in all fluffy and but on the back end they're just compromised, right? We need people coming in, saying it for what it is, and being that warrior polarity like energy to just burn it down. And I think that's what people really are wanting. People are wanting the system to be burnt down, and this is what's gonna happen. But there's gonna be efforts to compromise, to potentially even blackmail. So this is something like they got to be very careful who they're around. Yes, they're protected, but they got to be very careful, obviously, who they let in to their movement, right? All it takes is those couple of individuals to come in and compromise it, which is something that I'm emphasizing as a potential possibility. So that's why I really hope, as they continue planning out this movement and rolling it out before they really launch it, early mid next year, they have that in mind and they know who to let in and who not to let in, because there's going to be shadow forces that will try and come in, either blackmail them or to compromise it in any way that they can, okay? And it will be coming foreign, mostly, obviously, Israeli. So I think they just got to be very careful about that. So I just wanted to mention some warnings. Like, yes, like, I'm saying this is very good of the energy of it now, but we will have to see how this unfolds. And once again, don't, hold out all your hope that this is going to save us. Obviously, we are the only ones who are saving ourselves. But that's why I'm excited to see how this goes, because these are obviously two individuals who are not compromised. Once again, like, Trump was compromised before going in. All of them were compromised before going in. Like, these individuals have no shadow government ties. And I think that's what's going to be very much, like, interesting to see how this is going to keep going on the back end. So I tapped into, like, okay, what's the percentage, or what are the odds that they could actually get in as a third party? Because I think that the system is made not for them to get in, and that's just the facts, because of the way that the system is, the media, right? Like, they're going to have all media against them. They're going to have all institutions against them. Every force is going to come out that will be against them, right? And I think it's going to be very, like, exciting just to witness all this, and how there's such a frequency that will be carried in this, that they will be pulling through and prevailing. And I saw there is a 75% chance that they will be winning, like, the presidential election in 2028, Marjorie and Thomas, as a third party. So that means that they will be able to get on all of the ballots with all the challenges. Like, they're going to have so much stuff getting thrown off or thrown onto them. It's going to be absolutely insane. Like, you're going to have every force coming at them, but there's still a 75% chance that they are going to get in, because people on the left and the right are going to see that the other options are not going to be they're shadow government. That's literally what they are. Nobody's gonna vote for a Democrat or a Republican in 2028. It's not gonna continue. And that's why that there's gonna be such a white hat push for Marjorie and Thomas. And it's just like, I'm not here trying to push them. I'm here literally telling you guys what is about to happen. And it's significant. And it's like, you look at how much they went after the shadow government, like, went after Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, year after year after year. They went at them. They basically got them both out of the government. And, well, Marjorie resigned, but they got Thomas out. But look how much they, like, they just go at anybody so hard who's actually here to help. And I think people are realizing that all the purposeful, like, division agendas just don't work anymore, because I saw that there's going to be, like, even so many individuals who are even on the left that are going to be supporting Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, and on the right, and it's not going to matter sides. And that's why it's like, I used to think talking about politics was low vibe and divisive, but coming at it with a sense of neutrality from my personal lens of it, like, it's just a mere reflection of, like, a system that is so disgustingly corrupt. You know what I mean? It's like seeing it from that lens and then being neutral with it, and then seeing something like this emerge. It's exciting, but I'm not holding an attachment to it, right? I'm just relaying the information as I've been remote viewing kind of what's going on behind the scenes. Their partnership, and they are going to run together. And I just obviously wanted to give you guys all this information. I also put down challenges from, right? So challenges from shadow powers are going to be intense, but this strategic team up backed by the White House, or by the White House, White Hats, strategic team up backed by the White House, backed by the White Hats, will create powerful momentum in the collective consciousness. Okay. So it's going to be very, very significant. And then one other interesting theme that came forward was from the higher consciousness perspective. So now let's get into, like, okay, what does this mean consciously? What does this mean spiritually, right? For humanity. Obviously, it's more than these two individuals. It's more than any party or side or vote or any of that, right? Because it's all just an illusion in this simulation, right? what does this mean? Like, what is the greater message behind all of this? What's the greater message behind this white hat backed like political movement that's about to emerge? What's the greater message behind, you know, as we get to 2028 when everything kind of goes down? Like there's going to be so much at play. What's the great message about what 2028 and all that this energy with this movement and just everything kind of that's going to go down with humanity? What does this mean? So from the higher consciousness perspective, this movement acts as like a catalyst for, This movement acts as like a catalyst for the collective shift. So this ongoing collective shift, empowering people to break free from control systems, conscious programming, right? Which then leads to like raising frequency, coming back to center, feeling more empowered, and then creating higher timelines. That is the spiritual message behind all this. And it's like, how can you look at somebody like these individuals who are going to be running this type of movement and who are going to be basically burning shit to the ground and like not going to be liked by the shadow government, and they're going to get so much negativity like by these forces, right? It's going to be a very long ride, and I honestly can't believe they're doing this. Like I don't know, like good for them, good for their warrior like energies. And obviously, once again, like they have deep contracts here. They signed up for these roles. So let them go in and do what they're going to do, which is very exciting. And I will be obviously watching this very interestingly because once again, I've been picking up on these individuals for well over a year now. They're going to be this strategic movement, but once again, this is all about like empowering, returning to self, breaking free from the status quo. Look at once again, these two individuals canceled by the Matrix. All the shadow government reptilian forces out to get them, right? They're not well liked. They're the only two that are, you know, they pushed for the Epstein files. I mean, think about when they get in, like they're gonna release all the remaining information, or you know, they're gonna be that. I never even thought that anyone who could get in can actually say something that's truthful, but the energy behind this is like, if they get in, it will be the first time that like there will literally be truth coming out in the government. I know it sounds like very optimistic, but just on the energy going into this, it's very much what would happen. It's either like, what timeline does the collective want to choose? Do you want to keep choosing the timeline of one side's better than the other? Or do you want to choose the timeline of truth and burning shit to the ground, which is them? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of in on this. I am in support of this. I think that it will be interesting to see sort of how it unfolds, what's going to go down. I think especially as they roll out this movement, let's like send a lot of light and love and just protection energy their way, even though they're already protected. But it's going to be a wild 2 years or year and a half that they're going to be running this movement. Obviously, there will be like other figures involved, but they're going to be at the front lines of this. And I think it's going to be very strategic, very, they're going to work in a way that's going to, it's not going to be stereotypical political stuff. It's literally going to be about freeing from the system, breaking down the system, and exposing corruption that never has been done. And I think that it's going to be honestly a very monumental situation that will be unfolding, and they are very much on the good side as of now. So, you know, we'll see what happens, and I think overall, once again, don't hold attachment, just observe. And the intention with this video is letting you guys know this before, you know, winter, spring, and giving you guys the fair warning of how this is going to unfold, especially because so many people are like, who's going to be the next president, this, that. you know, here's the information on this movement and take what you want with it, right? And leave what you don't want. And that was my intention for today's video. But, you know, I hope you guys have some clarity or confirmation with this video. And I hope overall, you know, you feel like you took something out of this. So that's all I have for today.